Well guys, here we are again. We're going to do another cooking recipe here. This one is my style chili. Now, not really my style chili, because if it's my style chili, you would take a bite out of it and you'd be running for, well, everybody normally runs for a glass of water. And I said it's the worst thing to do if something's spicy, grab yourself a glass of milk. Water will just calm it down. As soon as the water's no longer in your mouth, it'll start burning again. Milk, no, it'll alleviate the spice in your mouth. But that's why I will never drink milk, because I don't want any spice ever being alleviated from my mouth. That's why I want spicy. So if it were me making it my way, trust me, it would be spicy as all heaven would request, okay? I would have jalapenos in it, I would have maybe some ghost peppers in it, I'd have habaneros in it, black pepper in it, I'm telling you, I'd have Tabasco in it, I'd have my homemade hot sauce in it. It would be unbearably hot for the majority of people.
Some like it hot and some sweat when the heat is on.
So I'm making it the way I make it nutritiously, so that you can eat chili and have a lot of nutrition. Now in the winter time, chili is a great meal to have, because if you cook it like what I'm about to show you here, you have a ton of nutrition in it. You can even add spinach in it, and believe me, you can, because it cooks down and you won't even notice it's even in there. All right, as long as you're using natural spinach, not like from a can or something like that, but produce spinach. Okay, but you'll see everything I put into the chili. It is loaded with nutrition, loaded with protein. Okay, and you get with the chili powder in it, it gives it a little bit of spice, which builds up your body's blood pressure and your temperature, so it keeps you warm. It gives you the energy, the nutrition. Okay, it's very, very good for you in the wintertime. So with that being said, let's jump on in here and see how I make my chili, okay, and see if you like the way I make it. Okay, so the way we always do it here, let's do this. We are going to make us some chili to go along with the cold and the snow. So this is what we're going to be putting in our chili. Well, we don't have more, we got more stuff. I got to put that, that. Okay, so we're going to put some ranch style beans in. We got some cilantro and parsley, yellow pepper, orange pepper, red pepper, ground beef. We're going with the 73% lean to get some more flavor. We got some tomato sauce, tomato paste, chili powder, organic mushrooms, a bunch of celery, onions, okay, and some other herbs and spices. We're gonna put some garlic in, some basil's gonna go in there, some oregano, of course black pepper, salt, which will be the Redmond salt, and I'll show you what else we're going to put in there. So let's go ahead and get this started. It's 9:41 in the morning. This will not be done until late this afternoon. So let's get rocking. Okay, first thing first, we're going to get some ground beef going. So we're going to be seasoning it up a little bit. We're going to start off with some Redmond's real salt. You always want to season up your ground beef. There's nothing worse than eating something with ground beef in it, and there's so much flavor and everything, and you chew on the ground beef and it's like bland. So let's get some in here. Now keep in mind, some of this salt's going to cook out into the grease. Okay, let's get some of this out. Okay, that's good. We're gonna get some black pepper here and there. There we go. And now I gotta stir it up. Okay, so you can see in there we got some black pepper, basil, garlic powder, and chives before it's stirred up. Meat's coming along just fine. And when you do the meat, what I like to do when I'm making chili or anything really is chop it as you go. Chop it this way, real nice and tight, and chop it this way as an automotive, like cross hatchet. Okay? And then I'll stir that up. I have this on very low. Very, very, very low. Like Tracy Lawrence's baritone. Very low. Or Trace Atkins. Baritone. Low. Okay. Okay, as you can see, it's all stirred up. What's in there is 2 cans of tomato sauce, 1 can of tomato paste. I didn't like the tomato paste can. The way I usually like to do the tomato paste can is cut the top open, cut the bottom open, take one of the lids off, and then take the other lid and push through the can and get the whole thing into one slot. But the bottom of the can had a roll on it, so it wouldn't fit in the cutters. I hate when they do that. But then you have to spoon it out and it takes forever. But there we go. That's stirred in. Meat's coming along. We're going to take the mushrooms and we're going to add the mushrooms into the sauce. We're going to add the celery into the sauce, the onions into the sauce, the bell peppers into the sauce, and then we're going to put the beans in, and we're going to mix that together. And then we're going to add the other cilantro and parsley into the sauce as well. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Now when it comes to ground beef, you can use 97, 98% lean, but I'm telling you, that's going to make for a dry burger, dry chili, dry spaghetti sauce. The meat's just so dry. You want some fat in there, and I like to get the 20-some% fat in there. Gives it some good flavor. Now also, once we get this meat cooked up here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to strain it through a colander. That's the way I like to do it. Now normally I like to run hot water over it, depending on what I'm making, in the colander to rinse off the meat, but I don't want to rinse off the meat. I want some of the grease in here. We want that fat content for the cold weather. Okay? You want to put some fat on you. And fat is not bad for you people. Gosh, your brain is fat, water, and cholesterol. You eliminate fat and cholesterol from your body, then your brain is going to suffer. Okay, so we're going to get that in. We're going to get a lid on that. If you love it, put a lid on it, right? Is that how the song goes? Something like that? Anyway, we're going to go ahead now. We're going to open up some mushrooms and get some mushrooms in here. All right, now these mushrooms come in pieces like that. All right, I like to chop them down a bit. And just with chopping these up, you do the same way you do with chopping the meat, or you do with body paint when you're sanding and cutting. Sanding things down. When you're cutting, just chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. Chop, 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 chop. Cross hatchet. Do it all different directions. I want the mushroom sizes to be disproportionate. You don't want them all looking the same. Looks like it's manufactured. So I could make them all the same, take a lot longer, but this way it looks more natural. Now this is going to go into the tomato sauce. Okay, we're going to have to strain the meat now, but you can see we got the chunks of the mushrooms in there. We may be adding more mushrooms. We don't want to add them all. We did not add them all. See, we had to put about a half of the container in. But so right now we're going to go ahead and strain the meat. All right, I had to get my camera 3-legum setter-upper. Some people call it a tripod, but all right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to strain ground beef in a colander in the sink. Take it and dump it in. I like to get as much grease that's on the bottom out first. Work the meat out. like that. Okay. And then I like to shake it around. See the grease dripping out. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I don't want it all out. That looks good. So I bring my pot back over. Put the meat back in the pot. In a pan, I should say. And then rinse this out with hot water right away. And just think, it's not much grease. If there was a lot more grease, I would not be putting it straight down the drain and then clogging up a drain. But use hot water, scalding hot water when we do dishes. So it's always breaking it down in there, moving it along through the pipe. Gotta glue a nice little coating on the inside of the pipes. Help them stop from freezing. You know, put a little fat on the pipes. This just helps you with dishes later on. Hot water melts down the grease and lets it flow through. Now let's go back over and put the meat and tomato sauce. Okay, let me get the meat. And see, we get some of that little bit of grease in there too. How many people hold a cast iron pan that's that thick with one hand upside down twisted? I'll tell you what, it takes a toll on your wrist. Now we're going to get a spoon to stir that in. First, let's rinse off our spoon. Rinse off the spoon because it could have dust and stuff on it, and you rinse all the way up the handle too because you don't know how deep you're going to be going in. Yeah, that didn't sound right, but anyway, you know what I mean. And we just thoroughly mix it in, spin around, and mix it. Now we will be adding water to this too, so you'll see what I mean. I want my chili kind of liquidy, but not too liquidy, and I don't want it not liquidy. But I'll show you what I mean by water. It's not just water from the sink, okay? I'll show you what I mean when we get to that point. Oh, it's already smelling good. Why don't you come on in and take a look? There we go. That's what she's looking like right now. Now a lot of times you want to clean your cutting board to get it so you don't want cross-contamination of stuff. Like if you're doing chicken, then you're doing meat, if you're doing raw chicken, you want to clean it off with hot water. When I'm doing vegetables, I don't clean it off when I do the next vegetable. The reason being, there's tiny pieces of mushroom all over here. I just did a mushroom. I don't care. I want that in there too. We're going to go with our onion next. We're going to do like I always do. You cut, peel. That one didn't peel so well. And then we'll cut and peel. That one didn't peel. Well, it gave me a little bit of a peel there. Kind of a little bit of peeling. Now we're going to go peel this in the trash can. And I always take off the first good layer of onion, because on one side it may be thick, but on the other side it's going to be thin. Watch them. gives us this onion. See how quick and easy that was? No, that wasn't even time lapse, guys. And yes, I turn my head every time I cough. Now we're going to slice it down. We want it diced up. Now here's the easy way. There's all kinds of different ways you can dice onions. I like doing it this way. Now you can take and you can cut down sections this way and then cross hatch it this way and then just go and slice and you'll get little squares on it. You'll see what's going on there. But I like to go take your slices and then see where your center knots are. Cut across your center knots. And then I just take it and go on angle. This way you get a running total tally of how much onion you're actually putting in. Then you can see I'm getting my little squares. Different sizes too. I like the different sizes, guys. It's makes it all natural. You see all these canning places, these big companies that say all natural and then they try to make their stuff different sizes in there when it's all processed. And I even make my slices a little bit different on sizes too. So they get different thickness. Slice it down the middle. And then just, now as you can see I'm not cutting straight. Let's see if I can get you in here a little better. Okay, that's a little better. Now I'm not cutting the onion straight. I'm cutting it, the onion itself is curved. So I'm cutting with the curve. And you're not always going to get the center cut until you get down towards the end. See all my little pieces there? See, cut on the angles with the curve. See that? Nice different sizes. You see a big one you want smaller? Nope, that was already double. That was already cut. Just sticking together. Just hit it. That's all. Now we're going to add this in over there. There. Okay, there's the onion in there. We're going to go ahead and mix it in. Now this has been on this burner since we started at whatever time I said at the beginning of the video, 9 something, but it's 10:20 now and this is barely warm. That's how low of a burner I got it on right now. You want it cooking slow and low, long, not wrong, okay? Because you want all these flavors that you're going to be putting in here to blend in. You want them all to blend. If you can eat this chili when I'm done and taste individual things I put in there, then I didn't let it cook long enough. Because that means they're not blended. And if I can catch some snow falling, I'll get it in there for you. Okay, so we're going to have to chop up the celery, bell pepper, and we'll get some, well, I might as well get the parsley and cilantro in here now. It's already been pre-rinsed, so I don't like all the stem going in it. So I like to break it down a little bit, keep some of the stem off. And you can use whatever parsley you want, whichever flavor you like the best. Italian parsley, whatever. I like your standard parsley. Italian parsley leaves are a little big for what I'm making here, so I'm really not going that route. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Parsley is good for your breath, by the way. If you got chronic halitosis, eat a piece of fresh parsley, raw, uncooked. And then when you go kiss a girl, she gonna say, "Oh, you must be Italian, huh?" Do you know how you can tell an Italian invented a helicopter? They say Leonardo da Vinci invented it. Well, he was Italian. You know how you can tell? There is proof of that. I mean, actual physical proof on every helicopter still made. You know what that proof is? What other nationality would invent a machine that goes wop, 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 wop? Hey, if you can't handle a joke, guys, turn the video off now. I throw them in. Racial, ethnic, religious, you name it. I don't care. In the military, we used to say helicopters don't fly. There's two reasons why they go off the ground. One, they vibrate so bad that the ground rejects them. Or two, they just beat the air into submission. Speaking of Italian jokes, like we were, where in the world does time fly by the fastest? In what country does time fly by the fastest? Well, of course, you know I'm going with, say, Italy, right? You know why? Because every time you look out the window, you see a day go by. Oh, that killed me. My Italian friends love that one. I loved Italy. I was in Italy many, many times. Naples, Italy. Naples, Italy, we were there so many times that we knew where we were going. We knew the names of the streets. We'd walk into a bar and they knew us by name, knew what we were drinking. It was just Italy. Naples, Italy was like a second home. Been to Rome. I've been to Sigonella. Oh, I've been all over. Catania, yeah, Catania. I've been to volcanoes over there. Took volcano tours. Played, I think, Carney Park, or so. I think that was the name of it. Carney Park. I forget the name of that park. Anybody knows the name of that park in Italy? That's a old volcano crater. It's got baseball fields in. Well, at least it did back in the 80s. Now go ahead and put a comment down below. I'd like to see if I was right with Carney Park. I forget. It's been so many years ago. Another lifetime ago to me. But yeah, I enjoyed Italy. I got to see some good olive fields, orchards. Boy, those things were gorgeous. Oh yeah, I loved Italy. The food, the people, the language, the culture. I loved it. That's why I feel authorized to tell Italian jokes. Because I love the culture and the people so much. Now let's get us some cilantro. It's funny because it's cilantro. No, it's actually cilantro. Now cilantro is good because it can detox the body of heavy metals, which is a good thing. Plus, I love the smell and I love the taste. I usually over cilantro things. It's a habit. I just love it. Now if you notice, I break these things off over the pot because, oops, there goes a couple stems. Let's get those out of there. Because when you're pulling it out of the bunch, some of the leaves will drop off, and I don't want them dropping on the floor. I'd rather have them drop into the food. Other one just dropped right out of my hands. Another one just dropped right out of my hands. See, I told you, it's cilantro. It's being silly. Okay. See, that's what I mean. They drop out, and you don't want them to drop on the floor. Okay, let's stir that. Well, let's get a look in there. There you go. There's some cilantro in there. Now we're going to stir it in. You want to stir it in thoroughly where you don't even see it. One thing you'll be doing with this chili here is you'll be stirring a lot. Last thing you want it to do is stick to the bottom and then burn. If you ever have something that sticks to the bottom and burns, you can still eat it, still be good, just don't scrape the bottom of the pan and mix it. Because then you're mixing all the burnt stuff right on in. And then you're going to have burnt flavor. Got cilantro on my spoon and went off. There we go. Okay, you can see some there, but got it pretty much down in there. We're going to put a lid on this. We're going to simmer before we put the rest of the stuff in. Might get some flavors going. And if you wonder where I put the stems, I just put them in the tomato sauce can. That's all. We got a tray there. We're putting our stuff. We got some spicing over here. Herbing and stuff like that. Herbing. I wonder if Michael's making this. It'd be Michael Herbing. We got our parsley. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do the celery. I'm going to just chop it up, put it in there and let you see, and then mix it all in. You'll see the size of the celery I'm cutting it. Now first things first, always rinse off your celery. And then I'll cut off white here and a little bit of tip, and a white there. So as you can see, that's cut up. And now we're down to these two stalks there. Let's chop those up. The way I like to do is put them together. The curved part, lock them together. And then go ahead and cut them up. 85 slices later, literally 85 slices. Depends on how thick you make them. There we have our two stalks. Now let's go dump her in the chili sauce. Now keep in mind, guys, a lot of this is going to cook down, so it'll be softer and take up less space once it's cooked. So it's going to be cooked down. Now I like my chili not to just be chili. I like it to be full of nutrients and very, very good for you. A little fat on it, have some good vitamins and minerals and nutrients in it, because chili is great for the winter to keep your body warm and to keep you with energy flowing. So that's why I make my chili a little more nutritious. Now let's go ahead and mix that in. So basically what you're looking at right here is basically a spaghetti sauce, but it will be chili in no time. There's not much difference between chili and spaghetti sauce. tell me, depending on how you make it. You can make different styles of chili. I like to call this my Italian chili, but it's really, really good. Okay, I've already gone and added some chili powder and beans, and I did separate some before I put beans in because my son does not like beans, and neither does my wife. So that's going to be theirs. Let's get the rest. I'm going to put more beans than that in there. I need more beans. I like beans. There's a lot of protein in the beans. So we'll be putting some more of that in there as well. So let me get some lids on these for now. Let's let these sit and simmer and get some flavors put together on these things. Okay. And we'll be back. Okay, you can see I got some beggars down here with the food. Right, Jacob? Right, Landis? And you can see I cut up the red bell pepper. I'm going to do the same for the orange and the yellow. Okay, and we're going to add them in to the chili. But, update. It's coming along just fine. Smelling really good. It's got a ways to go yet, though. Okay, so we're going to do the rest here. You don't need to see me cut everything up. So we're going to go ahead and cut these up and get them on in. Okay, first we cut the black pepper, take the tops off, take the seeds out. Then we cut them into strips. And then we dice the strips down. Just slice, 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 slice. That's all. We cut the white parts out too. Get rid of all the white parts. And we use the whole thing, cut it out. So I'll show you how we'll take that, make it look like that. Okay, like I was showing you, we make the strips, and then we just cut the strips up. With the tiny little cubes. And how do we make the strips? Well, when we cut the white parts out, the little white parts that go along here, we just cut those out. Throw those in the trash, just cut them out. And then this part here, I cut off. Then I take it and cut it down. Just to get little pieces. Spin it around so that you get your little corners cut. Okay. And then you just take this. Best turn it upside down, not from the inside because you want to break the skin first. Push it down and make your strips. And after you make the strips, line them bad boys up, and then make your cuts. Just like that. Strips. I like to try to make strips some different sizes. Like I said, I like to keep the different sizes in there. And then we just cut. And then our top, we do the same thing. We just go around and we break it in half so you can get around it. We just cut the little corners off. The dogs are begging down there, jumping up and down. Going, I want some, I want some. Whenever you see something that looks like a triangle end, just cut it off. Oops, see, we got some white in there. We're going to take that out. And that gets discarded. And that's our whole pepper. Now we're going to go add it in. Okay, we're just going to add it in, stir up first a little bit. We're going to be adding that in. Now we just mix it in. It's going to be a nutritious chili. And now we're going to go do the same with our yellow pepper. We're going to cut that one up. Well, we got the yellow all cut up. Let's go put it in. Now we just mix it all in there. And by the way, I did already add my secret ingredient. I'm not showing you guys what that is, but I already have my secret ingredient in there. And I added 2 eggs to the big pot and 1 egg to the small pot. So I just broke them open, put them in, mixed them in, okay? A little egg is good for some nutrition, the protein in there. So this is gonna be loaded with protein. Not only the meat, the beans, and the egg, loaded with protein, okay? And then you've got the sauce and the vegetables. Here's your vitamins. You're going to get your minerals in here. This is going to be very, very good for cold weather. And I'm not making it spicy, because a lot of kids don't like spicy. We can add spice into our individual bowls later. Okay. Right now I'm going to cover it up, let it simmer a little bit longer. It is now 3:06. We started this at what, 9 something this morning? It's already been 6 hours on the burners here. So let's cover up. And we'll be back. And there you have it. Chili is done. Beans and no beans. And I found it to be very, very delicious. And the time is 6:53. So I started at 9 something this morning, and it's 10 to 7, and it was done at 6:30. So from 9 something this morning till 6:30 p.m. is how long it took to cook. And there you have it, all done. Chili. Chili today, hot tamale.
It's good with hot dogs. Just making a chili dog.
What's tomorrow's dinner going to be?
There you go. That stuff was superb. I'm telling you, superb. Great tasting, great nutrition, full of flavor, very low spice. It was very delicious. The kids loved it. If you notice, I did do the with beans and without beans. I put all my sauce and stuff together and everything. Before I added the beans, I took some out and put it in a separate pot, and then I just added the beans to the other pot. Now I did put in some black pinto beans. I put in some organic pinto beans, and I did have those other ranch style beans in there. So there's like 3 different styles of beans in there, some different sauces and stuff like that. My secret ingredient, I'm not going there and giving that away, but that's all. I was, before the beans were added, all the secret ingredient was added to the big pot before I put it into the small pot, and then I just added the beans to the big pot, no beans to the small pot, because my wife and my one son don't like beans, so I didn't put any in there. So that did not have as much protein as the big pot did, but it was all done, delicious. Everybody loved it. So that is how I make chili. Guys, if you want to go ahead and try it, go ahead and follow up with that type of recipe. Spicing and stuff like that, you can do the taste. You can do that taste. You can adjust it here and there. You know, not everybody's going to like it the same way. That's just the way things are. But if you do go ahead and do it, shoot me an email, amateurhourbyzeus@gmail.com. Tell me what you thought about it, the way it tasted, okay? Because you can only see it on the video. Until you go out there and you do it, and you follow the way I did it, okay, you're not going to know what it tastes like, or what it smells like as you're making it. And cook it a long time, because you want the peppers to cook down, onions to cook down, the mushrooms to cook down, the celery to cook down. You don't want that to be all chunky in there, okay? You want to taste the chili and the beans and not even know the rest of that nutrition's in there, okay? Cook it a long time on low temperature, best way to do it. So go ahead and try it. If you try it and you like it, go ahead and shoot me an email, amateurhourbyzeus@gmail.com, or go right down there and like and subscribe and hit the notification bell and hit the all and join this group, okay? Join these people that are interested in this kind of stuff I do here on this channel. All right. Hey, put some comments down there too. Ask me some questions. I'll put some opinions in there. I would love to see it. If you do chili a different way, hey, type it in there. Shoot me an email how you do it. I'll go ahead and I'll pull up your recipe from the email, and I'll do a chili your way on a video. And then maybe we could even get on the phone or excuse me, on a Zoom or something, and we can do a video there talking about your chili or your recipe, and I make it, and I can cut it and edit it back and forth where I'm doing on the video the way you want to cook a meal, and we'll cook your meal right here on Amateur Hour by Zeus. Any meal you guys want to do, shoot me an email, amateurhourbyzeus@gmail.com. Give me your recipe. I will follow your recipe. I will cook the meal. Then we'll do a Zoom, and then I'll edit the Zoom in with the video of me cooking your meal. And we'll see what it tastes like. We can do that. Put a comment down there. amateurhourbyzeus@gmail.com is my email. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this video, because we sure enjoyed the chili, I'm telling you that. I was eating it every day for the next week and a half. That's how long ago the video was done. But that's how much was made. There was so much left over. And I was eating it for lunch. I was eating it for dinner. I just can't get tired of that taste. Okay, so there you go. There you have it, guys. That is my chili. So until the next video, guys, do me a favor. Be safe. Be good. Take care. Have fun. God bless.